I went to my dad's because Kevin was there after we recorded last time. I remembered like the echo, and I said that to Kevin, and my dad's like, "Oh, well, they need a producer," because apparently like my dad was asking Kevin questions about it. He's like, "So what is it?" and like all this stuff. Yeah.
Oh, he's interested.
Yeah, I guess.
Have an avid listener.
My dad's our #1 fan.
Well, taking sponsors.
Oh, he can absolutely sponsor us. But he can have any say in what we do.
No, absolutely not.
Hayes, this episode is brought to you by T. Hayes Plastering.
That sounds legit.
It is.
I like that.
That's his actual business.
No, I know. It just sounds good. Yeah.
I wonder like how much we could charge him. Like $80.
What? What's the family discount? I got $2.
No, he pays us.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
500?
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. What'd you say? 500?
Yeah.
I feel like that's so fair. That is the family discount, and that
That's our family discount to him.
Exactly.
If you want to put your business up here, $5,000.
Honestly, we're a little bit, priceless if you ask me that.
Now for a break for our sponsors. So you can listen to our sponsors. Quince.com. No, just kidding.
Come here, we will plaster up your home. You need something to be home plastered? We'll be there home plastering you.
Well, all the like...
Come sponsor us. I'm telling you, we're making it big.
I already know. I've gone to quince.com.
Yep.
I'll go to stamps.com if I must. We have stickers. We can mail out a sticker.
I haven't gone to any of these places except for that one shake place because, I was like trying to be healthy, whatever. But listen, if you're willing to sponsor, I'm willing to visit. And I feel like that's a fair trade.
How do you feel about people who like the podcasters that like read out the commercials and they obviously don't use the product? They're like, I love Liquid IV.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, really? You use Liquid IV every day?
I'm like, I want to know how many first of all, how many of these things have you actually tried? Okay. Second of all, how do you love every single thing?
Like, how do you feel about that?
Honestly, give me the money and I'll love it too. You know what I mean?
I love it. Okay, good.
Shit. All right. So, hey, ghoulies.
And welcome back to the Hot Ghouls Club.
And welcome back, because I'm telling you right now, today's episode is going to be on and popping about what's going on in the world near you.
Near you.
We're
but actually 40 years ago, right?
Well, yeah.
Not in a world near you, but a world near somebody.
Somebody somewhere. I'm sure there's what's that called? Time travel.
You think that's real?
Absolutely, I think that's real. I think everything that's ever been made up is real, and I mean it. I'll stand by it. That's my man. I'm gonna stick beside him.
That's my man. Yeah. Or that's your man. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick beside him.
All right, Jamie. Well, this is Tara.
Oh, this is Jamie. I don't think we introduced ourselves the last time.
We
either.
did. We're doing a double recording today, so we're acting like we've already told you all this, but we have not.
Just so you know where our brains are at.
Pride. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
We're recording this on New Year's Day.
Yes.
So we hope everyone had a happy and safe New Year's. And that nobody drove drunk or got in trouble. We did hear about some tragic things that happened.
Oh my gosh, New Orleans.
New Orleans. It was horrible. My father told me about that. Somebody just drove into Bourbon Street. That guy's whoever that person is. I get
goosebumps thinking about
whatever monster. World is so sad and scary, and it's just so annoying.
Yeah, 10 people have passed.
And 30 more people have just been injured.
Yeah, absolutely. My heart goes out to everybody that's going through that and have family and friends affected by that. That's completely fucked up, and I don't understand why humans have to hurt humans. It's kind of wild to me. It's a wild concept.
I completely agree.
Fuck that person.
They don't get light.
No, fuck him. So, back to the case. This case has been one of the most substantiated UFO abductions as well. And one of the first very heavily publicized alien abductions too, which I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great way for us, I feel like, to get into the whole alien aspect of true crime, because there's other cases that are have similar stories or what have you, and we can definitely cover them over time.
And as we know, there's been the drones that are flying about outside of the East Coast and apparently the world. You didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, apparently that it's not just in America that people are seeing these drones flying around. And
good for them. No, I'm just kidding. We've talked about it. There's something so strange about these drones. I genuinely cannot get my brain to care.
I just don't understand why. See, and that blows my mind.
That blows Jamie's mind, because I also think it is kind of crazy, because shouldn't we care? But I don't know if I'm just so burnt out in a shell of a human being.
You know what? That's fair.
I can't do much more at this point.
We're in our young 30s, and I feel like that speaking for our generation as a solid.
Yeah, I could use a good 2 months off right now.
Oh my God. Even I'll take 3 days. 3 consecutive days. Please and thank you. But yeah, the drones, look out for them. They're in the sky. they're not leaving. And they're not telling us what they are. So
They don't know.
which honestly was an inspiration. So thank you, drones, to inspire me to this piece, because we're going to be getting into Betty and Barney Hill. So they lived in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and they lived there as an interracial couple that were married in 1960.
Amazing.
They were, I know, love them. They were both known to be very hardworking people within their community, and Betty worked as a social worker while she specialized in handling child welfare cases. And then Barney worked for the postal office, oftentimes working doubles and overnights, driving as far as 60 miles to his work destination and back. As an interracial couple in the 60s, the two did face a lot of challenges that were prevalent during that time, because unfortunately interracial coupling was viewed as socially unacceptable back then. And I'm sure that's still prevalent in parts of America today.
I mean, at 1,000,000%. People are
Bible
trash,
Belt.
even in New York. I mean,
Oh, well, yeah, so true.
even
you
like,
know?
yeah, I have friends that are in a
Interracial
yeah, okay.
relationship.
Thank you. I'm in one.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Kevin.
Okay, Kev. But yeah, I mean, we're you know, I guess I don't want to say lucky enough, but we don't ever have to like we don't face that in public. Nobody ever says anything to me that I'm aware of. But I do have friends who have people have made little comments or looks or what have you. It's disgusting. People
I just don't understand it.
Like I don't get it.
Like that's one of the biggest things that I've heard, that people with interracial, same sex, like all that, intersex relationships, they all have these common denominators of like people like butting into their business or whatever. First of all, how does it affect you? Second of all, how does it, like, why are you upset? Like, that's so weird to be mad at, or it's like, creepy. You know, it's so weird.
It's so creepy. Like, ew, go creep elsewhere.
Creep elsewhere. Let an alien take you.
Both of your cousins are married.
I hope an alien takes that person that gets creeped, like has the nerve to even think.
No, don't even allow them to have like a cool story about being abducted by an alien.
I hope that you get gaslit, whoever you are.
Yeah,
on the daily.
Right now, wherever you're.
I hope you shit your fucking pants right in your diaper. Diaper. Do you know people wear diapers for New York City on to watch the ball drop?
Sick. I saw the video last night
I'm
of when they opened the
disgusted.
gate and people charged to New York City. For context, people, we're like an hour and a half or so outside of New York City.
And I couldn't be bothered more.
I did go to this like Manhattan once for the ball drop. Not for the ball drop. I was in a club. I was nowhere near Times Square.
Okay, yeah.
And then I've gone to Brooklyn a couple times.
Yeah.
In the club. Okay.
Club.
I'm nowhere near the ball drop.
See, we're all
Times
friends
Square.
in the club because that's okay. But to be outside, standing from like 4 o'clock in the morning, pissing in your fucking diaper.
Facts.
To watch this thing drop.
To watch the most
There
anticlimactic.
was somebody going around asking for trivia questions, and if you got it right, the prize was a diaper. I shit you not.
I hate this world.
Pun intended.
We should pack up.
Yeah.
We should just end
Let's
everything
go.
right now.
Let's go. Bring us
I'm gonna go
back.
into this like hole I dug in your backyard. I'm just gonna live there.
It's all right. You know what? Insulated in there, I'm sure.
Me and Kevin, the cat, not Kevin, my boyfriend.
I have a cat named Kevin. He's pretty great. He's a pee-pee boy. I love him. So back to it. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I forget where I was. Right. As another example, too, to really put into perspective about the challenges that they were facing for loving each other, was that Martin Luther King Jr. gave his world-renowned speech of I Have a Dream in 1963. So that was just 3 years after they got married. So obviously the civil rights movement was on and popping during that time. And it was in 1961, Betty and Barney Hill took an impromptu trip to Niagara Falls with less than $100 in their pocket and a serious need to get away and relax. This was a trip that was about 60 months after they got married, and they decided to dub it as their belated honeymoon, as they didn't take one right after marriage. And they decided to go there by doing a road trip, and it was about a 5 hours drive from where they lived in Portsmouth to get to Niagara Falls. They had planned a 3-day trip in total for this vacation. And they had planned to head back down on the 3rd day. Getting there and while being there, everything went as expected. They had a great time. It was the last day when they started their travels down from Canada late in the evening. And it was on September 19th that they planned to get home around 2 a.m. that following Wednesday morning on the 20th, because they wanted to beat out an expected hurricane that was heading for the East Coast. So when they got to Vermont, they decided to stop, refuel their bodies, and around 10 p.m. they left the diner to finish the rest of the drive down. What they didn't know was that after leaving the diner in Vermont, that their lives were about to change forever, and they were about to go down in history as a couple that survived an alien abduction.
Ooh. All because they went to Niagara Falls.
My mom and dad went there recently. They said, wouldn't go again. Don't recommend.
It's horrible now. It's just so overcrowded.
And they drove too. So from here, it's like an 9 to 10 hour drive.
Yeah, I've been to Niagara Falls once on the U.S. side.
Did you drive?
I was a child. But
Did somebody drive?
Yeah, drove. Yeah. The driving was done.
Yeah.
It was me, my grandma, my aunt, and some of my cousins.
Oh, that's cute. Was it a girls' trip or mixed?
No, there was mixed. But only some people went. I kind of remember it. I do remember like going into like the caves, like that are underneath the falls.
That's fun. Yeah, I don't know if I would go. I mean, I would go, but I would go to Canada because I hear it's a lot more fun over there.
Yeah, like, hey guys, came to see this, but I'm gonna go see all the funner stuff.
Like a day, and then go to go into Canada to land and see what's going on.
It's a beautiful thing to see. It's huge.
Yeah, my mom and dad had pictures, and it was gorgeous looking. And then also to paint the picture of how all of this went down for Betty and Barney was that they were in their vehicle driving through the White Mountains, and this was located in the northern part of New Hampshire. By the way, the White Mountain Range, or the White Mountains, which is a mountain range, is a part of the Appalachian Mountains. And if you didn't know, the Appalachian Mountains is like a whole bunch of fuckery.
Yeah. Some people call it Appalachian.
Appalachian.
Or Appalachian. We could probably do a couple of episodes on them.
Oh, for sure.
Heard another podcast do it on, I think it was like the Caulfields and the Haddons or something. I'd have to look that up, but that's crazy up in the Appalachian places, okay?
Oh, dude, for real. It goes from mass disappearances, a whole group of people can be living there that's completely separated from 21st way of living. Hillside Lies type shit.
1,000,000%.
Scary, ooky, spooky, but yeah, there's a lot of information, a lot of different stories that I'm sure we're going to dive into multiple.
Yeah, definitely nationally.
Along the way.
National parks, that just got me thinking too.
So they're about 2 hours away from their hometown,
wow,
being that it's in
close. Sorry,
I know.
I was just gonna ask you. They were only 2 hours away from home when they left the diner.
No, not when they left the diner, but when they got into the White Mountain Range, when they were driving through that, where everything
by the time they got everything out. Okay.
Yeah. So, which I didn't know, but I found that out. When I found that, I was like, oh my god, I didn't know they were literally the last bit of their drive.
That stinks.
So it's here they first make notice of some strange bright light that's off in the sky. The bright light stuck out to the couple because at the point that they were driving, it's sometime around midnight and essentially it's pitch black. So the location too that they were driving in, it's not like there was any heavy traffic by any means. So anything that was bright and light that would have caught their eye naturally.
Interesting.
When they first spotted it, they did think it to be a shooting star because it was so bright. Yeah.
How cute would have that have been?
I know.
On the way home from their anniversary. I mean,
just see a beautiful little shooting star across the sky.
Oh. Spoiler, it wasn't that.
No. So then when they figured that out, they kind of tried to explain it away. And Barney kind of thought maybe it was just a satellite that had fallen out of orbit. Which again, I could see that making sense. They trying to explain it.
Justify it or make it logical.
Exactly.
They're smart people too, so
yeah.
And a satellite never would have crossed my mind.
Yeah, I feel I immediately would have gone
okay, and just kept.
No, I'd have been alien.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So one time been on my phone and not even seen it.
I would have been sleeping. Are you kidding me? I'm not staying awake during that drive at night.
Hell no.
No.
The scary mountains.
No. And then just trying to explain it away, the oddity. So obviously thinking that it was that satellite that falling out of the atmosphere, or its orbit. So Barney, especially trying to keep a level head about the whole thing, he used his knowledge of being a World War II vet and a natural enthusiast from aircrafts. He always just kept trying to find that ordinary reason for why the light could be, and also to keep Betty, who noticed it, calm as well. So keeping note of these abnormally bright light, Barney keeps driving, but as he is, the roads that he's on are curving and winding and hilly, as you expect an area in the mountain range to be. And this is where Betty starts to notice that this bright light seems to be getting closer and closer to them. So while it's doing that, it's also exhibiting these wild flight patterns. Betty's entranced by this and what she's seeing. So she recounts the lights to almost be always above the car. And there would be these moments where the light seemingly disappears behind tree lines and mountain range and for them to reappear shortly after. So always like zigzagging throughout the night sky.
And it was like high up in the sky.
Yeah.
That's weird. And it was behind them or in front of them?
It was behind them. So like trailing them almost, but it was like
Not obviously trailing them immediately, or
no, obvious at this point. Like they're like, girl, I'm hitting a hard left turn. Why are you still back there? Like behind me. Like and like the way that they describe it, it's like disappearing. At one point they said it like disappears behind the moon and then comes back. So like traveling at these crazy speeds. Yeah.
Okay.
Says after a few miles down the road, Barney and Betty's curiosity gets the best of them and Barney pulls off to the side of the road and yeah,
Barney no,
and they step out of this at the first.
What the fuck?
That's literally like the basis of every story, right? It's like you have these two assholes that like
go home.
What's this thing? I want to go check it out.
Is that man standing over there with a knife covered in blood?
Sir, do you need help?
Oh, did you hear that scream? Nope. Mm-mm. Go home, mama.
As a matter of fact, I'm blind in my left eye.
I'm blind. I'm legally blind.
So Betty, she's all for it, right? So she's like really wanting to know what this light is. She grabs the binoculars that they had, presumably to like get better look at Niagara Falls. And Barney, being the like World War II vet, he grabs the gun that he brought with him.
Oh, okay, Barney, fuck it up.
And they both step out of the car to get a better look. It's here that Barney recounts in a therapy session seeing a pancake-shaped object the size of a jet hovering about 100 or so feet in the sky above a clearing that they're near.
That's kind of low.
Yeah, they finally, as soon as they pull off, this thing gets like super close to them, right? So they really get like a good visual. It's, still a good amount of distance and you want to get Betty wants to get a good view. And this is how she's able to describe what this UFO had, which was these huge windows where you could see inside. And then inside these windows, you could see these gray humanoid looking creatures in suits, like Men in Black stat.
Okay.
And Betty's giving him this information that this is not just a spacecraft, but this is
an aircraft.
Aircraft, yes. Yeah. It's not just an aircraft, it's a spacecraft. It's not clearly man-made. Yep. Barney, he's like, okay, I think you're onto something. Because, like, the moment that he stepped out and he saw the size, the sheer mass of it, he was like, stop making excuses, because he knew, being the, like, enjoying aircrafts and stuff, that the size would have had some sort of engine roaring that he could have heard.
Oh, it was silent.
Silent.
Oh, that's so creepy.
There's nothing. So he remembers that, like, as soon as that happens, he hears, do not reach for your gun. Keep your gun down. And no matter how hard he's trying. So he found himself that he could not go against the wishes of these creatures that he's hearing in his head. What he did have, and what they did realize that the both of them could do, was to leave, like book it. And that's what they did, because they realized very quickly, within, in real time, that what they were looking at was a UFO. And him and Betty got back in the car and they drove out of there like a bat out of hell. Betty and Barney are trying to get as far away from whatever it was that they saw hovering in that field. It wasn't long until they saw the bright lights again start to follow them. And they noted that the light ended up getting closer and closer to their car now.
Bold.
As hard as they were driving, as fast as they were going, they just couldn't get away from it. And all of a sudden that they started hearing this beeping coming from the inside of their trunk. And then the two of them remember feeling drowsy. And then that was it. They lost consciousness.
Oh, no.
Yep. And after that was the last thing that they remember after waking up in their home that next following morning.
Their car was outside their home?
Their car was outside the home. They had no recollection of how they actually got home. But they did notice that there is differences to their clothes that they could not explain how it happened. With Barney having his shoes being scuffed up, the binoculars that they had gotten a broken strap. Betty actually had a rip and stain on her dress, and both of their watches had stopped working. And then, just for you guys to know that's listening, we're going to have a lot of these photos that I'm describing right now up on our socials.
They took photos of it?
Yeah. They actually kept her dress. They have it at the University of New Hampshire.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So now it's the morning, obviously, like we were saying, or I was saying, is September 20th. And Betty and Barney, they're looking at each other and they're discovering all these changes that they have to their clothes. And they start to realize fairly quickly that they have no idea how they got them. In fact, the more they try and go over their night together, the more they come to notice that they both have one shared memory of when they lost their memory. And then that moment is after hearing the beeping that was coming from their trunk of their car. Without being able to come up to a decision of, or to come up with a memory of what happened to them, Betty decides to go and find out that what she saw that night, or she remembers what she saw that night, and she decides to go to the library, and she starts to take out these books and trying to better understand of aliens and UFOs. And she ends up reading about the NICAP, which is the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena. After this, Betty is getting more information on her and Barney's experience. There she can find like shared or noted like experiences from other people that have
Like encounters other people have had?
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And she decides to put a call into the Air Force to report what happened to them with raised concerns of
Can I speak to the
radiation
Air
for the
Force?
calling.
Can I speak to the Air Force, please?
Can I speak to your manager?
I want to speak to the president of the Air Force.
Can I get
So
to your
the
CEO?
What?
Oh wait, the president's the president of the Air Force?
Well, he's the commander-in-chief, so I was just joking.
That makes sense.
Not that he does anything. Any of them.
No.
Idiots.
Idiot. Pure idiot. It's after this that word got out of their abduction and pretty quickly became known around the world as having one of the most credible alien abduction stories. Before Betty and Barney's alien abduction story, though, is when you did hear about an alien encounter, it was always kind of friendly. Like there was nothing, there was no experiments being had. There was nothing like ominous tone to it. It wasn't until after that they gave their story that all of a sudden, like all the other encounters to follow, there was always something happening, that somebody was being probed, somebody was,
Yeah, that's interesting.
right? And then after the encounter that they had, they both ended up seeking out therapy because as the days went on, Barney found himself as stressed as anything, day in and out. Because of this stress, he developed an ulcer.
Oh, Barney.
And for Betty, she finds herself that she's very rarely able to make it through a night without having these insanely vivid dreams or nightmares. She felt no matter how hard her and Barney tried to carry on with their normal lives, they just couldn't easily accept what happened to them. And they needed help to navigate how to do that. So it was with Benjamin Simon, a psychologist that is also trained in hypnotherapy, that they were able to find this help that they both needed. And the couple with Benjamin tried out hypnotherapy.
Okay.
And they were trying to see if they could find those 2 missing hours, and this method actually works for them.
Okay, do tell.
Oh my gosh, I just completely
It's the
minimized my
aliens.
story. They said, shh, don't let it out.
You don't need to tell the world what we've done to Betty and Barney.
I'm telling the world.
These poor people.
So what they are able to piece together is that a vessel deployed from the UFO was what landed on their car and was the means that put them to sleep and sedate the hills. So that was like the beeping and the noise that they heard.
One. Two. No, second thing.
And then the two, they were then led up to a long ramp into a spaceship. It was on the walk that this ramp, Betty says that she remembers calling out for Barney, and being the only thing she was able to see or able to do was that inside of her control was when she saw him. So then on the walk, she calls out for Barney. She says the only thing she remembers being able to do that was inside of her control was to do that. And she says when she saw him walking with her, that he looked to be sleepwalking, like in a trance-like state. So when they got inside too, then they ended up being separated and they were both led into their own rooms.
That'd be so scary.
Imagine
No.
having some sort of
Not only being abducted, but then separated from the only other being in that situation that you know.
and your husband too, that's like your comfort person.
No.
So sad.
Oh, okay, go on.
But this is the rest of the story is very interesting. So when they get inside and they're separated into the rooms, they recall that it looked to be a spacious room with silver walls, floors, and ceilings, and that the walls looked to be curved, creating this rounded room shape.
Okay, go off. Interior design.
Right?
Burkas. No,
They
just
said
kidding.
we love a nice minimalism style.
Wait, was it Kim Kardashian's home?
Oh my God. Kim, there's something you're not
What
telling
did you
us.
do?
Babe,
Kim, your sister's going to jail.
we figured it out. That's why she's always timeless. Think about it.
That's
She
what-
doesn't age.
Yeah, baby, that's the Botox.
Okay. Oh, well.
and also
Or being.
the sacrifices. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. It's the work of the devil.
Or the Illuminati. Sponsored by the Illuminati.
I mean, hey, you want to throw us a couple mil? I'll do whichever you want.
Yeah. Unless it's like...
I'll be your puppet. No, I'm just kidding. I'd be a horrible puppet.
Isn't like Diddy, like, isn't he a part of the Illuminati?
No, I actually don't think the Illuminati's real.
You don't? I think
wouldn't even
everything's
give
real.
Diddy any of that credit. He's a fucking slime ball.
He's
with
such a
too
piece
much
of shit.
money.
So fucking foul.
Foul.
You.
You.
Love 50 Cent, by the way. Just want to shout out 50.
Fofty.
Yeah,
Have you ever
Fofty.
saw the Fofty thing?
No.
A little backstory, another Bravo thing. Lala Kent is on Vanderpump Rules, or was. It's canceled now. And her husband / boyfriend, whatever, was this guy, Randall Emmett, who was like some sort of movie or music producer or whatever. He apparently borrowed like $1 million of some crap from 50. And like...
Borrowed $1 million.
I think it
Wild.
might have been $1 million. I don't even know if it was that much, but still, he borrowed money from 50. But then Lala and Randall just started going off on like social media about something, so it had nothing to do with 50. So 50 decided to step in and be like, you know what, if you want to talk all this shit, you owe me this money and yada yada. And then he also released the text messages of Randall being like, I'm so sorry, like I'm sending you the money, but he kept accidentally calling him Fofty. So he's like, please Fofty.
Please, Fofty. Please,
Fofty. So
Fofty.
entertaining. Please Fofty, may I have some?
That's the one thing about I was gonna say Eminem about 50 Cent is that he comes with receipts. Like that dude
He comes with receipts.
and a grudge.
That man can hold a grudge like I've never heard in my life.
Never. And he'll like go dormant with it.
And he does like he'll go dormant for 3 decades.
Absolutely. And then he'll come out and you're like, wait, what?
Diddy.
Oh no, apparently he's like when they first met, he was like, this guy, like, fuck this guy.
No, I mean whatever shit he has on him. Not that I think that
yeah.
I really
I'm
hope
sure
that
he
he's never
does.
been involved.
No, I mean, God, I hope not. But sorry, celebrities, y'all a bunch of sketchy group.
No, you absolutely are a bunch of sketches.
So fuck celebrities, back to the aliens.
Yeah, back to the better things.
The aliens did end up having, in I guess a Diddy style, Betty and Barney take off their clothes.
Oh, tea. Baby oil.
You see how that transitioned? And they placed themselves. I just heard you say baby oil. Sorry.
That's how they probe them.
That's fucking wild, dude. That guy, that. So I can't.
It's like a D&D quest.
Oh my! Scary one. It's like a level 10 quest.
That's what'll be my quest when I'm a DM.
Oh. How do you survive the caves of
party.
Diddy?
It's a Diddy white party.
Ew.
The whole campaign is just a Diddy white party.
That's like you dress the whole entire room up in white.
It's like a freaking sacrifice.
So they had them take off their clothes, and then they had Betty and Barney get on top of tables that were in the center of the room. Betty actually recalls that the tables that were there, they were so small that her legs were hanging off of it.
I would be like, are you kidding me? I'm tiny.
Like, don't you have room in the budget for...
Like, are you trying to tell me I'm fucking big?
She gets a complex instead.
Yeah, right? She's like anorexic the rest of her life. She gets surgery to become shorter. Me.
Also me. I'm a tall bitch. So then in these rooms separated, the aliens, they then ran different tests on the hills. They took their samples by ripping pieces of their hair out by the follicles, collected nail clippings. They collected skin samples by scraping parts of their skin. And then the hills actually noticed that they were collecting these samples and they were putting them to like glass-like slides.
Oh.
Like during all this.
Okay.
Like a true like lab rat type deal.
Like, okay. Like a earthbound.
What are you doing with that? Am I reimbursed?
Tea. Yeah, you get paid for your like platelets here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They would be so sick of us if they abducted us.
I'd be like, that's $50.
I'm keeping count.
You know how much money I could say I'd sell this hair for? And you're gonna pluck it out of my head?
Absolutely. You're doing the most and I'm charging the most.
I'm charging the most.
After the sampling, they described the aliens that they had these long needles that were about 4 to 6 inches long. And then they used those needles to probe the hills by sticking the needles into their heads, their arms, their legs, and in Betty's case, they stuck one of those needles into her abdomen as means of a pregnancy test. Now, I don't know, like, if you're a listener and you're out there and you've heard about an amniocentesis, I've gotten that done, and it's literally like that. Like, it's a 4 to 6 inch needle, and they tap it into your stomach, and then they go, bam, right into your abdomen to get into the amniotic fluid. No numbing, by the way.
I'm a child.
They just
here.
tip, tip, tip.
No, thank you, ma'am.
It was just another ploy for the insurance company to get more
Seriously.
money. I just have to get probed, but whatever.
You're preparing for when you get abducted.
They're going to be getting my bill. Right. So Betty and Barney, they believe that in both their cases, they were also assigned a leader from their room who stood off to the side observing rather than partaking in the test. And Betty also recalls from these hypnotherapy sessions that she asked the leader that's standing off to the side, she goes, "Where has this spacecraft taken us?" So this is where like it gets interesting. And I found this out from History. The History Channel has like a
I'm sure my dad
little
has seen
article
it.
about this. She said that they were like joking back and forth, her and the alien.
Excuse me?
Yeah, like haha hee hee. Like she was like, "Where are you taking us?" And the alien's like, "Huh, if you even know constellations, what's the point of telling you?" I was
They
like,
spoke English?
apparently.
Love that.
And she was like, "I don't know, just tell me." Like kind of deal.
Maybe I do. It's
And like
an
they showed her
astronomer.
a map, apparently. They showed her a map of the constellation that they were in.
And it was...
Oh, it was they didn't know at the time, but a few years later, there's this woman named something Fish. What's her name? Marjorie
Love
Fish. That is a fun name. She attempted to interpret this map, and her findings led her to believe that it was of a constellation that we've named Zeta Reticuli.
That's weird.
But this constellation is also, it houses other claims to it. So outside of Betty and Barney's case, it's also come to find out that there is these supposed alien bodies that were found in the 70s and 80s and autopsied that are from this constellation. And that there is also a crash that's near Roswell, and an alien from this constellation had survived and they were sent back home. And that there was a U.S. like a foreign exchange program where we were sending Americans to this constellation with the aliens, and the aliens would like send us their Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian.
I'm like, wait a minute. So so the poor humans that are sent there are disguised as aliens and have to pretend that they're
I
human?
guess so, yeah. Unless the aliens are
scary
like,
must that be?
okay with humans, like you guys really are like not that it.
Either way, how scary is that? That you have to pretend to be, like, even if Kim Kardashian is an alien and she's here, like, you have to pretend that you're this person unless they just actually think that they're human.
Do you think that's why they're slowly giving us these tidbits of aliens are like real things, so that way all the celebrities can finally out themselves on them being aliens?
No, I wouldn't give I wouldn't give
just me?
celebrities that much credit.
Yeah. Apparently it was said
Probably
that celebrities
politicians.
are like, so definitely politicians. Slimy little bitches. Well, I mean, that could be being too mean to aliens, too.
That's true. I mean, if Mitch McConnell's an alien, I'm sorry to
He's like
aliens.
the downgrade, like the worst alien that...
He, like, can't even talk anymore.
I don't even know that guy.
He's something in the...
Right, so back to
To the probing. So she was
Yeah, so the
joking
probe.
around, and then the constellation was one that's already been linked to other ones, and then we got into that, and then go.
And then essentially that kind of like wraps up what happened to them. They didn't really like say too much after that. And the best that they have is like once that's unearthed in their hypnotherapy sessions that they brought them back to the car, and in a trance-like state, they got back to their house.
Okay.
And like that's where
They drove?
wakes to, yeah. And then after that, they blow up in history. They go to different talk shows, different interviews. They get this newfound status where they actually use that, and they put themselves respectfully into their old and new passions, with Barney and Betty both already in the civil rights movement, and being members of the NAACP, the National Association for Advancement of Colored People. And Barney sat on the board of the local U.S. Civil Rights Commission, and everything about the Hills went through. They both continue strong on the path that essentially paved out for themselves, with writing a book on their own experience, and then Betty also continuing her scientific research and being well known within the scientific community. And that all kind of continued until her death in 2004. But unfortunately, with Barney's case, him still being known as a well-known activist for civil rights, he did end up dying in 1969, 8 years after all of this, because he passed early at the age of 46 from a cerebral hemorrhage.
Yeah, so that's really sad. I think, like you mentioned, like he was super stressed out from it.
Yeah.
It could have been obviously like a very traumatic event for him, especially like I think it was traumatic for them not knowing, and then there was a new level of trauma knowing what happened to them, and that
Yeah.
they're even though, like, I guess you could say devil's advocate that it didn't seem like everything that they were put through was like that bad necessarily, and they did get home safe, but that is such a invasion of your personal space, and such like they put them in such a vulnerable position if this is all true, that it's such a violation, and you just feel so violated. So that must have really changed them.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure. But what I loved hearing about them is that even though they went through this event, and they did use it, I think, to gain, not necessarily use it, but it gave them some notoriety, and to be well known, and then they turned that into...
they saw an opportunity. They were able to...
But they did good things with it.
Exactly.
Which is not common.
And I think that speaks to their character, because I know a lot of things with them in this case is that obviously it's hard to... Although it's considered one of the more substantiated cases of alien abduction, it's hard to prove it. You know, you don't have the...
It's always hard to prove.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
an alien abduction.
Yeah, it's hard to prove.
Either you believe it or you don't, and you kind of take it as it is. And a lot of people were saying that they made up this story. They're smart people. They obviously have the means to do it. They're smart enough that they could have done that. But even if that was the case, I think good for them, because guess what? They really, truly made their community a better place. They stayed being an activist, a social activist with civil rights movement, and Betty stayed within the scientific community, and she kept her research there. Even if it's not true, she still bettered the world with figuring out, or, you know,
I don't know. I can't. It would be really hard for me to lean towards the making up. I mean, I guess so, yes and no, but for them to both be able to recount very similar stories while under hypnosis, and then that's corroborated by somebody who's an accredited psychologist, and, you know, it's not like I don't know if he got anything out of it. I don't know. It kind of seems like so straightforward and so like a little less with the glitz and glam that it almost feels more real because of how, like you described them. They were like, you know, good standing citizens within their community. They were civil rights activists. They were very smart people. I actually don't think smart people make up stuff like that. I think stupid people make up stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Unless you're like
unless it was like
a master manipulator kind of deal.
Yes, but I don't
like there's
get
something
that.
Psychologically wrong with you.
Yes, and like you want to be known in history as being like being abducted.
I feel like that's
aliens.
hard for two people in a relation, like one person in a relationship. Okay, you got that. Both people though.
That's hard.
Yeah, that one's hard.
Well, yeah.
One thing I do remember too, reading about the story about when they were abducted into the spaceship, and in a conversation that Betty had with the lead alien, or not the lead alien, but with the aliens, was that they came into her room super excited, super pumped, and she said she overheard them saying that, oh my gosh, we could take the teeth out of the male one. And then she said she remembers laughing and saying, those are dentures, babes. And that it's, and that she says, humans, we through age deteriorate, and that Barney had to get dentures because his teeth were falling out. And she was like, she remembers saying that the aliens had a hard time with that concept of deterioration.
That's so weird that she had conversations with them.
And she said that they were like laughing and kikiing.
Kikiing. Wow, that's crazy.
I know.
I definitely want to look into more alien abductions.
And I think that's like one of the things too that was like people are like, I don't know if this is real.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
But again, like
everybody's gonna poke holes in a story, and maybe
sure.
it's not true. You know, there's always that possibility. The only people who know if it's true are Barney and Betty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that it's interesting, but I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
You really described what happened to them and how they discovered it and everything. I think that was a good telling of it. I definitely want to look more into it, but you know, we're true crime, but all things ooky, spooky, and weird.
I mean, this is just an outlet for a lot more things that are going to be coming to you guys, or like just the beginning, I should say.
Yeah, and if there's any topics you want us to cover,
let us know in the comments.
Or hotghoulsclub@gmail.com.
Yeah. All right. With that, we're going to be catching you guys in the shadows, and
Stay ghouly!